I got to tell you, man, this offseason and this free agency has got me pumped. And if there are any Steeler fans who have any doubt at all that Omar Kahn is not the GM of this franchise going forward, I don't know what else to tell you. Because let me tell you, have you ever seen Kevin Colbert be this aggressive in free agency? Have you ever seen him slap the table and not put up with attitudes or, drama or other stuff that have been affecting the Pittsburgh Steelers? Omar Kahn, on the other hand, he ain't about that at all. And I think this past week and a half or so has really showcased that. And while Mike Tomlin's culture, well, let's say culture is a 9-win season, and while Art Rooney II may be about stagnation and being complacent, Omar Kahn is a completely different animal. And I think that he's changing the culture and he's changing the mindset of this franchise for the better. What is going on, everybody? I am Mac, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, link down in the box below. So yeah, Omar Kahn is the GM, and he's done a phenomenal job. Like I said, I think he's really starting to put forward a new mindset, a new tone, and what could be a new culture for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because let me tell you, Kevin Colbert put up with Antonio Brown. Kevin Colbert put up with Le'Veon Bell. Kevin Colbert put up with Jeff Reed. Kevin Colbert put up with Martavis Bryant. He put up with all the druggies. He put up with players who misbehaved off the field. He put up with a lot of egos. He put up with a lot of drama. Omar Kahn, and of course, the biggest thing that we criticized Kevin Colbert on is his lack of aggression and his lack of determination when it came to free agency. And that really showed over the course of his stint as GM, with maybe the exception of 2022, where he at least tried to make some moves, but he did probably the worst kind of moves possible. Omar Kahn, on the other hand, he's cleaning up what Kevin Colbert has done. Because you take a look at this team. Like it or not, this is a team that won 10 games last season with a team that featured a lot of injured players, a team that featured players that had middling to no success in the NFL, a quarterback situation that was just horrendous, and a defense that if your name was not TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, or Alex Highsmith or Cam Hayward, you were little to nothing on the team. And just take a look at what the Steelers had going into this offseason alone. We still had Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitch Trubisky as our quarterback room entering the offseason. Guess what? All three of those guys are gone. We traded Kenny Pickett. We released Mitch Trubisky. I think he's back with Buffalo now, if I'm not mistaken, as Josh Allen's backup. Mason Rudolph signed with the Tennessee Titans. Not that I wanted to see Mason Rudolph gone. I had this small glimmer of hope that maybe Omar Kahn could work something out with Mason Rudolph and that he'd stay here because he was an unrestricted free agent. But I knew that as soon as Russell Wilson came, I knew Mason had no chance of staying. But, that might sound like a bad thing for the Steelers because Mason Rudolph gave the offense a huge spark at the end of last season, and it got us to the playoffs. So, yeah, that does kind of sound like a bad thing. But let me tell you, Omar Kahn knew that because Mason Rudolph wanted a fresh start and Mason Rudolph wanted a fair start and he wanted a fair opportunity to be the guy for another team. He knew that he wasn't going to last much longer here in Pittsburgh. So what did he do? He got an experienced veteran quarterback who's a winner, who still has game left in him, and a guy who can lead this team that has a lot of young players on offense. And he got him over here for the veteran minimum, while the Denver Broncos are still paying him $38 million to play for us. And the very worst that can happen with Russell Wilson is that he just doesn't pan out here and it cost us nothing. So if Russell Wilson doesn't work out, let's bring in a backup quarterback in Justin Fields, which I can't say enough. Am I a big fan of him? No, I'm not. But I like him as a backup. I think he would make a really good backup quarterback because he's still young. He has a good he has a good skill set. He just needs to polish up his accuracy and he needs to have better decision making, not hold on to the ball too long. But we know the guy can take off. We know the guy can pick up yards on the ground, and he has a strong arm. Way better of a strong arm than Kenny Pickett ever had. Same goes with Russell Wilson. Sure, he's going to be 36 this year. Sure, he's more towards the twilight than he is his prime, but the guy can still gun it. The guy can still, take a deep risk down the field. Did you ever see Kenny Pickett do that? Sure, we did. A couple of times. But you got to be consistent with it. The point is, our quarterback situation is miles better than what it was. Okay? How you can sit here and say that these two are not an upgrade over Kenny Pickett is beyond me. Because you still want Kenny Pickett to be your guy going forward. You still want Kenny Pickett to be the franchise QB going forward. At the very least, you could still have him be here and learn under Russell Wilson, and maybe that could up his game a little bit. Oh, but that's right. Kenny Pickett didn't want that because I'm a first-round pick. I should just be handed the starting job. I don't have to compete. I want out. And Omar Kahn was like, you know what, pal? If you don't want to be a part of this, I ain't going to have you on the football team. Get out of here. I'm going to trade you to Philly, a.k.a. your favorite team, and I'm going to get better draft capital for you. That's the culture that Omar Kahn is setting here. He's getting rid of the attitudes. He's getting rid of the divas. He's getting rid of the prima donnas. Look at what he's done this offseason alone, this past week and a half alone. And if you want to even go back further, look what he's done before that. Chase Claypool, gone. Fleeced the Chicago Bears. This dude eats Ryan Poles like how I eat oatmeal for breakfast every morning. He fleeced him not once, but twice. The Chase Claypool trade got us Joey Porter Jr., and he has been a fantastic story so far with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chase Claypool's gone. A guy who doesn't put any effort, a guy who can't catch the ball, his route running stinks, and he's stinking up the joint in Chicago. Claypool's gone. Mason Cole, gone. Omar Kahn's like, you know what? If you can't snap the ball properly when you're a freaking center, I'm going to cut your ass. And I'm probably going to get a center in the first round of the draft, which is what I hope to God that Omar Kahn does. Get Jackson Powers Johnson here in the first round. Period, point blank. Mason Cole's gone. Mitch Trubisky, gone. Throwing 3 interceptions a game for us. Omar Kahn wasn't going to have that, but Kevin Colbert would. Kenny Pickett, gone. Deontay Johnson, gone. 2 touchdowns with that contract extension, all them drop passes. And Omar Kahn's like, yeah, you're a good route runner, but you need to have the full package. And I'm going to trade you and get a corner and a veteran that can help out JPJ, who can help out our great story at corner. Deontay Johnson's gone, and he had an attitude on him as well. And I'll tell you right now, if George Pickens keeps up the attitude, if George Pickens keeps whining and crying, I can guarantee you Omar Kahn's going to get rid of him too. Not that I want to see George Pickens gone, because I think that as of this recording, he still is the number one receiver on this team. We kind of backed out of the Tyler Boyd talks. We've been rumored to get Brandon Ayuk over here, but only time will tell with that. Mike Williams just signed with the New York Jets. We were in talks with him as well, but we'll see about Brandon Ayuk. But as of this recording right now, yes, I think George Pickens is still the number one receiver on this team. Completely changed the linebacker core from last year. Just like how he completely changed the quarterbacks from last year as well. You get a guy like Patrick Queen over here who is an absolute playmaker, and his game is elevated, and he's still young. And he can learn a lot, and he can elevate his game even more playing alongside a guy like Landon Roberts, a healthy Cole Holcomb. If Cam Hayward can play one more year and stuff the run, play with him. If Keanu Benton keeps developing well, play with him. You know what Kevin Colbert did? Kevin Colbert just picked up the scraps, and he picked up the sloppy seconds from teams. Omar Kahn, on the other hand, he's getting big names. He's going after the guys. He's going after players that teams want. He's going after needs. He's going after necessities. And not only is he grabbing them at all costs, he's getting them at non-exorbitant costs and prices. Because going back to Russell Wilson, say that Russ doesn't pan out. Okay? You get Justin Fields as your backup quarterback. The very worst that can happen is that Justin Fields is just a backup quarterback and that he can still stay here, or he beats out Russell Wilson for the job, and Russell Wilson just shows that, age is getting to him. He doesn't have it anymore. We move on from him. Costs us nothing. This is the culture that Omar Kahn is setting with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the front office. Aggression, will to win, wanting to bring back a Lombardi back to Pittsburgh. Because us as fans, we've been sitting here the last 16 years going on saying stairway to 7. We don't say that for nothing. We don't say stairway to 9 wins. We say stairway to 7. Because that is what this fan base is dying for. Another Lombardi brought back to Pittsburgh. And Omar Kahn said that, I don't know about being aggressive. All I'm trying to do is build a Super Bowl team and win a Lombardi. And hey, I don't think this team is a Super Bowl contender yet, okay? I don't think, we're going to be in the Super Bowl next year. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, this is for sure a Super Bowl team. What I am saying is Omar Kahn will stop at nothing to bring home a Lombardi back here. And you, as a fan, you can't do anything but just applaud his efforts and just realize that he is doing what Kevin Colbert would never do in a million years. And that's the new culture that the Pittsburgh Steelers are having. Aggression, will to win, determination, hard work, blue collar, and wanting to win that Lombardi once again and have that euphoria with the fan base. Omar Kahn is my freaking GM, and any doubters, I don't know what else to tell you. This guy is just in it to win it, and you just have to enjoy the ride, man. And I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm excited to see what happens with free agency now, and I'm excited. I'm very excited about the draft now. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I am Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.